Welcome to Ubuntu podcast series. The word Ubuntu is a special word with real meaning in the hearts of African forefathers. Ubuntu is a powerful African philosophy and way of life deeply rooted in traditional African cultures. It is more than just a word. Ubuntu reflects the core values of humanity, community, compassion, and mutual respect. What does Ubuntu mean? At its core, Ubuntu is often translated as I am because we are, or a person is a person through other people. In various African languages. In Zulu and Xhosa, South Africa, Ubuntu means humanness or human kindness. In Shona, Zimbabwe, the concept is similar to Unhu, referring to good character. In Bantu languages across Africa, variations of Ubuntu emphasize collective responsibility, empathy, and communal living. Ubuntu in the hearts of African forefathers. To the ancestors and elders, Ubuntu was not just a belief, it was a lifestyle. It governed how people treated neighbors, strangers, and even enemies. Resolved conflict through dialogue rather than violence. Shared resources like food, water, and land. Raised children as a community. It takes a village to raise a child is rooted in Ubuntu. Celebrated life through rituals and togetherness. Ubuntu was the spiritual and social glue that held African societies together before colonization disrupted many indigenous systems. Key principles of Ubuntu. Community over individualism. You thrive because your community thrives. Mutual care and respect. Everyone matters and contributes. Forgiveness and reconciliation, a cornerstone of post-apartheid South Africa. Interconnectedness, what affects one affects all. Leadership through service, true leaders serve their people, not rule over them. Ubuntu in modern times. Ubuntu is not just ancient history. It inspired Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, who used it to heal and rebuild South Africa. Peace-building efforts in Rwanda after the genocide. Modern African values in community development, social enterprise, and education. A quote from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Ubuntu is very difficult to render into a Western language. It speaks of the very essence of being human. It is not, I think therefore I am. It says rather, I am human because I belong, I participate, I share. Let Ubuntu be the software that runs the African system, not corruption, not greed, not division. Ubuntu reminds us that the future is communal, not just individual. If each group, youth, adults, and leaders lives with Ubuntu at heart, Africa can rise with dignity, unity, and power. Ubuntu as the software. Just like software controls how a computer functions, Ubuntu should guide how Africans treat one another, make decisions, and build societies. It emphasizes collective well-being over individual gain. Community trust over personal ambition. Service-driven leadership over power-hungry politics. What's currently running the system? Unfortunately, Africa's system is often run by 1. Corruption. Billions lost yearly in public funds due to misuse, bribery, and fraud, example Nigeria, South Africa, DRC. Poor infrastructure, healthcare, and education continue not because of poverty, but because of mismanagement. Ubuntu response, leaders serve with integrity, not personal wealth. In Ubuntu, stealing from the community is stealing from yourself. 2. Greed. Elites hoard national resources, oil, gold, land, while millions live in poverty. Youth unemployment is high, but few share opportunities or create pathways for others to rise. Ubuntu response, wealth is shared to build the whole village, not kept to build walls around the rich. 3. Division. Tribalism, xenophobia, and ethnic violence, example South Africa's attacks on other Africans, Ethiopia's Tigray War, Sudan's conflict. Political divisions worsen unity instead of strengthening diversity. Ubuntu response, I am because you are, your tribe's well-being is tied to mine. No one is safe until all are safe. Real-life African unity challenges and how Ubuntu could help. One African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Africa is trying to unite economically with free trade among 54 nations. Challenge, distrust, protectionism, border issues. Ubuntu solution, prioritize the greater good. Open borders with trust. Share knowledge, not just goods. 2. Pan-Africanism weakness. Efforts at unity, like the O, are often symbolic with little grassroots impact. Ubuntu solution, Pan-Africanism must be community-driven. Unity starts in local villages, markets, and schools, not just conferences. 3. Youth disillusionment. Many young people feel abandoned by corrupt systems, leading to brain drain or crime. Ubuntu solution, engage youth in leadership and entrepreneurship. Mentor, not exploit. Educate, don't manipulate. Ubuntu in action, real examples. Rwanda's Gacaca courts used Ubuntu-style justice to rebuild after the genocide, focusing on healing, not just punishment. South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, led by Desmond Tutu, used Ubuntu to rebuild unity after apartheid. Community cooperatives across Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana use Ubuntu values to pool resources and uplift villages. Final thought. If Ubuntu becomes our software, Africa's systems will run on unity instead of division, progress instead of paralysis, and purpose instead of profit-only thinking. Imagine an Africa where leaders serve rather than rule. Borders unite rather than divide. Youth build rather than flee. Cultures celebrate each other, not compete. That is the Africa Ubuntu can help us create. Let Ubuntu be the software that runs the African system. Not corruption. Not greed. Not division. But humanity. But unity. But dignity. I am, because we are. You are, because I am. That's Ubuntu. The spirit of our forefathers. The heartbeat of our ancestors. Echoing through huts and cities, drums and dreams. Not in books alone but in how we lived. How we loved. How we led. But today, our system is sick. Crashing under the weight of lies. Lagging from greed in high places. Frozen by fear of the other. The code is broken. The people suffer. The youth wonder. What happened to the village that raised us? So we reboot. Not with machines, but with meaning. Not with bullets, but with belonging. Not with blame, but with Ubuntu. Ubuntu says. If my neighbor is hungry, my stomach cannot rest. If my brother is broken, I cannot feel whole. If my sister is silenced, then I, too, am voiceless. Let it run through our policies. Our parliaments. Our playgrounds. Our platforms. Ubuntu in the classrooms. Ubuntu in the courtrooms. Ubuntu in the algorithms. We've seen enough of leaders who lead with fists. Now let's lead with open hands. We've seen enough borders built on fear. Now let's build bridges on trust. We've seen enough youth leaving in boats. Let's give them reasons to build at home. Let Ubuntu be the software. Not colonial leftovers. Not tribal tensions. Not stolen futures. Let it be the rhythm of the new Africa. The upgrade we've been waiting for. Powered by love. Fueled by community. Coded in compassion. Let Ubuntu be the software. And let Africa rise. Safa Ubuntu or Safari Ubuntu is a powerful phrase combining two meaningful African words from different languages. Safa or Safari, from Swahili. Safari means journey or travel. It's not just a physical trip in African culture, it often refers to a life journey, mission, or path of growth. Ubuntu, from Nguni languages like Zulu and Xhosa. Ubuntu means I am because we are. It's a deep African philosophy of humanity, interconnectedness, compassion, and community. So what does Safa Ubuntu/Safari Ubuntu mean? In plain terms, a journey of humanity. Or Walking the path of shared humanity and unity. Safari Ubuntu is about more than travel. It's a life journey guided by Ubuntu values. Caring for others. Building community. Sharing resources. Respecting everyone as part of a greater whole. It can also represent Africa's journey forward. From colonialism to freedom. From division to unity. From corruption to compassion. From isolation to togetherness. How it can be used. As a movement name or campaign theme. Join the Safari Ubuntu, a journey to rebuild Africa through unity. As a personal philosophy. My life is a Safari Ubuntu. I walk with others, not alone.